All right, I'm going to go ahead and start recording here. So we wanted to have our mastermind call this week to just sort of continue our conversation about the new kind of way that we're expanding that we can have conversations in terms of not just celebrating, Success Club, but also knowing that if our customers truly aren't ready for the challenge pack, that we have more options for them. So really today, Jake posted yesterday kind of how's everyone feeling, and I think for the most part, if you've stayed up to date with the stuff that we've talked about and you've been on the calls, you kind of, those people that have been tuning in know what they're doing and they know how this is working. But we wanted to kind of just have this call today to answer any questions that you might have, to kind of ask you, okay, how is it going? And the biggest thing that I wanted to get across is this really shouldn't change how you work at all. In terms of, I think that sometimes when we add something new in, it can feel a little bit overwhelming, but I just want to kind of remind you guys that it really is just an additional way that you can have conversations. So, for me, I'm still leading with the challenge pack, but I might just, if they don't have, for example, if they're like, no, I just like, that's too much money, or, it's really for those people that are like, I'm not sure that right now I can fit that in my budget, or they ghost me or whatever, that I can then pivot and go, okay, well, if you're not ready to start there, we have a few other options. Maybe you could just get your foot in the door with a BOD subscription if you want to start with fitness first, or if you want to start with nutrition first, we can talk about what that might look like if you wanted to just start with Shakeology. But I am telling them still like that my top recommendation is a challenge pack, because you do get the both support, right? Like you get the nutrition and you get the fitness. So I'm still leading with that because I confidently believe that that is going to give them the best results if they're able to afford that. But this is just another way to kind of get different people in the door. I also decided yesterday, I did like an Insta story just to even let people know that there's a free trial, because I feel like a lot of people may not ever even reach out because they just know that they can't spend much money right now. And so I did a story yesterday, and I just kind of shared a little bit about Beachbody On Demand, and then I shared that you could do a free trial, and if you want a free trial, comment. And I had people that I've never talked to before, reach out, probably like 20 people. And whenever I use that little sticker to say, hey, do you want more info? Like ask a question, post or drop your email here. I never get anyone to respond to those. But yesterday I did, I think because it was people that maybe aren't necessarily ready or able to spend a lot, but they want to try something. And so, it's just a way on a month that, especially June, just tends to be year over year a slower month for a lot of reasons. I think one, which all of us busy moms can kind of understand this, is kids are home from school. And so in general, we're just like, how do I manage all this change in schedule? And then also people are just outside a little bit more, right? When the people up north are outside more, so maybe they're not thinking about working out at home. There's a number of reasons as to why June is a little bit slower, which whenever we have a slower month, my mind always goes to, well, I'm not going to say that that's an excuse. I'm not just going to not work hard. That just means I have to work a little bit harder, because I know that there are still people I can help. I might just have to talk to a few more people to find those people. So that's kind of, why we did what we did. But I want to open it up for questions for those of you who have been doing this, and, what you're finding in your conversations. I think a lot of people were like, yeah, I like it. I just haven't actually been working very much. So I know that there's a lot of that kind of people that are trying to get into a good work routine for summer. Keep trying, you'll get there. It just can kind of take a little bit if, you're in the middle of a transition. So does anyone have questions about this? How is it going so far? Have you been doing it? And I know some of you already were doing this, that you would be like, oh, you can't afford it. Like, what else? What else can I help you with? So I know this isn't brand new for some people. We just want it to kind of become more where you guys are getting celebrated for having conversations beyond the challenge pack.
What up?
He's back. I had a call. I had to do a call with Carl. He interviewed me for the UPF Master Coach series, and 4 kids in the house really isn't conducive to a Zoom call with the CEO of Beachbody. So Jake took them to the pool, and they're drenched.
Man, I have not seen you guys in 2 weeks. I haven't been on the last 2 weeks, so buckle the F
up. All right, so thoughts, questions, where are you guys at with all this?
Question. Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
Hi. Sorry.
It's good to see you. I haven't seen you in forever.
Been a little crazy.
You're amazing.
Still working, just doing the basics, keeping my head down.
Yeah, right. We were saying last night, though, your basics are like SC12 with 6 kids. So,
you just keep doing your basics, Jess.
You
stick with the basics all day long.
So I guess my concern is I'm trying to catch up on all the videos about volume and all of that. And I think all of us have done that, default, okay, well, if you really, really can't do the challenge pack, then here's the other option for you. I think I'm a little bit hung up and concerned because I haven't hit SC yet for the month, which honestly hitting SC10 the last couple months has done so much for my income because of getting the leads and getting the commission. So having not hit SC for the month yet, I'm worried about posting a $39 option and no one will go for the challenge pack and I won't hit SC. I mean, not this month. I know it's a delayed gratification because you can follow up in 2 weeks and then you can follow up in 3 months when it renews. So my question, I guess, would be to anyone who's doing this and promoting the $39 sale, are you having any luck, then turning them to the challenge pack and eventually getting the challenge pack sale? That's really my question to anyone who's been doing this for the last week.
I've got a couple of thoughts just on the difference between retail versus cycle. And that's really, it's a long-term play, to be honest with you. Month 1, we might take a tiny bit of a step back, but realistically, when you look at, and this is what we're evaluating constantly to help you guys make more money. Because if we can help you make more money, we're going to have a lot more people that are really excited about this business and sticking around. And when you bring on new coaches and you go, hey, however you have to, just get 10 people in the door. And they're like, oh, okay, so I can just sell 2-week free trials. Yeah, you get a point for selling 2-week trials. The long-term play is your cycle volume, and you know more about the differences than I do. Your challenge pack is still going to be your best option, and you're still, if you sign them up as a customer, you're going to get probably the most amount initially from them. But long-term, being able to use other products and have them not necessarily upcharge, but you start with essentially nothing, and then they're getting, just by ordering Energize, you're actually getting more volume points, personal volume, than you would selling a challenge pack, which is crazy. When you really think about it, you're selling $160 and getting what, 38 PV? 35 PV, and if you would
TV.
TV.
Team volume.
But if you would sell Energize, you're getting 38, right? That's the difference, 38 and 35. So that's where we're looking at a lot of this right now is until Beachbody corrects what needs to be corrected, because honestly, that needs to change. And I think every coach who's anything in this business are screaming for corporate to look at this. And we're promised that after Summit, they will be making some changes. Mm-hmm. In the meantime, we can either, and this would be my encouragement to you, Jess, you're in a good groove. Why the heck would you change? Yeah. Keep doing what you're doing. And we're even incentivizing that. If you sell a challenge pack, you're still getting points towards this, whatever it is, contest. What we want to do is find ways strategically to involve and get greater buy-in from our young coaches. Because we have a lot of people who are very early in this, that they post a couple of lead generators, they can't sell a $160 challenge pack. And you all know, because we have a lot of very talented people in here that have been at this for a long time. They're like, isn't for me, doesn't work. This gives them the flexibility to do it and have some greater ability to get people in the door early. And as an added incentive, the way that Amber has this broken down, if you take a little bit of time to understand it, is that you actually are making greater team volume by selling Energize right now, which is crazy to me, than selling a challenge pack. But I don't want people getting so far in the weeds with this that you go, oh man, I need to completely abort ship and start going this route and selling free and selling $40. I think you need to just stick with what's working and just put your blinders on and keep hitting SC12.
Yeah, I mean, Jess, you're in a good groove. Like, obviously what you're doing is working, I would just stay there. And the only thing though, and we talked about this on, I forget what call it was, that you might want to just think about is the fact we were talking about how, you know, when you don't have a second CBC open, when you sell a challenge pack, you only get 25% commission and you're not getting any sort of volume. So one approach that some people are taking is to run more retail through their husband's account, which would be your weak leg. So then you would get that 25% plus, you know, you get the volume. So not that you have to, but something to keep in mind in terms of a way to earn more income before your second CBC is open, but also, you know, it's all this balancing act of you want to hit SC in your own account first and, you know, all that kind of stuff.
But just know that the only reason that we're doing this, for those of you who've checked out or haven't wanted to pay attention to like change, the only reason that we're doing this is because we want you making more money. That's it. We're literally doing what we do, and we're going against the Beachbody mold to help you as coaches produce income that's substantial to your families. So like the days of us being okay with you selling 3 challenge packs and making $80 a month are over. We're trying to help address things for our entire downline. And for those of you who are established, just so you can get the complete picture, this is only going to benefit you if you can wrap your heads around it and teach your team to do it. Because if your team isn't producing any team volume, I get messages all the time, Jake, why am I not cycling as much as somebody else? Because your team isn't doing shit. So if your team isn't doing anything, you're not going to be cycling. But if we can teach them to be cycling and finding 10 people a month and selling a $40 thing of Energize and getting 38 TV, you're going to be cycling more than you ever have before, in addition to making your typical retail commission. So just full transparency. I don't know if that's, I missed a couple of these calls as I've been traveling a little bit, but I just want you to know that this is designed until Beachbody does what they need to do. This is designed to essentially get us ahead of the curve and help you guys make more money. Full transparency. But it's only as good as you understand it.
Yeah, that's why we want, that's such a good question, Jess, because I'm sure there's other people that are asking that same thing right now. And we're so conditioned to Success Club that I think that's also like, we're just so comfortable with it, you know? And so it's just going to take some time to kind of be willing to just talk about other products too.
And the reality is, we say this all the time, you guys aren't having conversations with people. It's not like verbal, face-to-face, back and forth. I mean, maybe it's a voice message, but 99% of the time it's a script. And that's why we're even sharing with you in the scripts. The thing that's staggering to me is we've got about half of you even showing up in the builders page right now. So for those of you who are checked out and you're missing all this stuff, when you hop on here and go, oh gosh, I don't even know, like I don't understand all this stuff, I don't know how I could ever communicate it with a customer, that's ridiculous, because you're not ever communicating. You're not having face-to-face conversations where you have to walk people through a detail aid. That's what I used to have to do. So I had to memorize all my shit, and I had to be able to talk about all this stuff. All that we're having you guys do right now is switch in your progression from how you're presenting something, and we're giving you the exact verbiage that you can use until you feel comfortable about it. And we just need you to run with it.
And it is going to be one of those things where, you know, it takes a little time, because that, like, I shared this on another call, but if you were to take, it's just because, again, how we've been conditioned to think, but if you had, let me just have my calculator out here so I get this right, actually.
And Bridget Wheeler started doing some of them.
Yeah, Bridget,
she's an accountant. She is certified to know numbers.
So let's just say you were to sell, I think the numbers were, if you were to sell 200, or if you had let's just say 2,000 people get started with a year subscription to BOD, you would earn $75,000. If you were to have 2,000 people get started with it quarterly and they kept it, it would be $125,000. So you are making, more money on the quarterly over the long haul, even though in the beginning that challenge pack is seems so much more.
Amber, I do not need to pay attention to this. I do not need an extra $125,000 a year, okay? I am just fine sticking with my own routine.
Oh, man.
Trust us! Trust us! You guys are a part of one of the best teams in the freaking network. So we're not giving you something that is designed to hurt you.
Right.
We just have to wrap our heads around it.
But I want to have these conversations with all of you that have questions, because I was asking these same exact questions 2 weeks ago when I was brainstorming with other leaders. So all of these questions are so good, because if you can understand how this will benefit your family, then you're actually going to want to do the work, to make it happen. So it took me a while to wrap my head around it too. So it's not something that is easy to just flip a switch with,
Okay. Other questions. Let's keep them coming, because I want to hear, because I looked at, I'm back to me. Amber said I was starting to feel like myself again because I was all fiery the other day. Feels good to be back. But, I was looking at our Success Club numbers already this month, and we've got a couple of people that are off and running, but we only have 5 people that have actually even hit Success Club. For everybody that's saying, this is a big change for me, I'm focused on Success Club, we still have a lot of people who haven't even hit Success Club. So what do you feel in the month of June is holding you back? And I want to preface that, because the first thing I'm going to hear from people is, life's really busy right now. My kids are out of school. I'm folding laundry more than I ever have had to fold laundry before. It's da 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 da. So I want you, before you say that,
we know that that's going on, because we feel it too. So,
but I also want to say, I sort of feel you. But I also want to say, before you comment like that, have you been doing your lead gens? Have you been talking about stuff on social media? Have you been good with your stories? Have you been good with your invites? Think about that before you say, it's just a busy time. And then go, what is it about the month of June that you feel like you're working through? And then how can we help? How can we help you? What do you need from us?
I agree. Oh my gosh, Amanda, I have to say,
yes,
I've been packing a ton and all that, and I have never been so positive, because I'm listening to so much personal development. I'm like, this is awesome. Personal development all day. Jess's life just stays the same. She's just always in a state of complete chaos, but she figures it out. So because I'm so happy to see your face, can you tell us, seriously, how do you do it? Because I think you would be a great example of showing people and telling them, how do you make it work? Because you are one of those people that, despite how crazy your life is, it may not always look pretty how you get it done, right? And you told me that before, but you get it done. So how do you actually stick to the basics when life's crazy? Which it always is.
Well, last year for a little bit, I wasn't, I will fully admit, for 3 months, and my business slowly declined. And I think for this year, I just hit a point in January of telling my husband, this is more important than a lot of other things I'm spending time on. And I'll stay up till 2:00 in the morning sending invites if I have to do that. And I typically this month I have not been as consistent, but twice a week, I'll just spend 2 hours sending invites rather than trying to be every single day. That way I just don't really get on myself if one day something doesn't happen. So basically look at a bigger picture, not what am I doing every day, but over the course of a week, what am I getting done? As long as it happens over that bigger span of time, then it's okay. And you guys, summer schedule is basically my whole life, because the kids are always home. We always have the laundry. I'm always making the meals and the snacks that they eat all day long. But I feel as long as you are flexible but not negotiable, that's really all it is.
That's good.
If I say, oh, this is scheduled for this time and it didn't get done during that time, so I'm not going to do it. That doesn't work. It has to get done, even if I have to stay up late to get it done.
That's awesome. So you just figure it out. You said, non-negotiable. And how do do your kids get it? Do they get that it just has to happen at some point, or are they sleeping, or when, because you say I know you stay up late a lot, but
Yeah, I don't wake up early because I feel like my kids wake up early.
Yeah.
I'll wake up at 4:30 and they'll just wake up at 4:30. It's the weirdest thing. But if I like sleep until 7, they all sleep until 7. So I've given up on the waking up early, but I stay up late to get stuff done. You just find out how to make it work.
That's awesome. I think that's really encouraging because I would say that's our story too, especially right now is like, you know, our kids too, like, because usually at some point one kid ends up slaying by me at some point in the night. And if I get out of bed and they like hear me move, they are up and I'm like, what the heck? And I was getting so frustrated trying to figure out a morning, like early morning routine just wasn't working. So we're totally night owls too. And I think that's kind of good to admit to because for whatever reason, I feel like the majority of go-getters are morning people. And sometimes you feel sort of lazy for being a night owl, but it's like, no, I'm just wired a little different. Our family's wired a little different. So I love that.
Gary Vee talks about that too. The days of the early bird gets the worm are done. Just go get the worm. So that's kind of my philosophy. So I want to go to what Emily said, the follow-up. And I'm going to take a screenshot because I'm going to message each and every one of you that don't do it. 1 second, smile. Because we have follow-up Fridays on Friday. Last week we sent 50 follow-ups, which was like pathetic. And I couldn't even wrap my head around that pathetic number. So I didn't say anything, but now I've got you here and I'm back and I have screenshots of each and every one of you and I will message you if you do not follow up with people today. So Emily, I'm going to have you unmute yourself, but I want to break this down because there is a disconnect right now where people are doing the work. We're getting people to follow up with us. We're teaching you how to build a pipeline. You build your pipeline, then you have to work your pipeline, but we're not working the pipeline. So when you say like, I'm hesitating, what do you feel stops you from just doing it right now? Because you're a rock star. If you decide to turn it on.
Oh, she's at work. She can't talk.
Oh, sorry. So no. Oh, sorry. No. Was that
Emily Coldiron's at work.
Oh, gotcha. So I feel like the thing that I just do not want people, there's two things. A, we talked about it right when we got on here, is that I don't want people to change what they're doing just because you have a new shiny object. Okay, please, if you're in a good groove, like I sent Ashley Below a message a couple weeks back, and I was like, hey, how are you doing? She were like, I'm just in my zone right now, and I'm staying in my zone, and I'll let you know when I'm ready for more. And I was like, cool, I'm not going to bother. Don't change what you're doing. Emily, if you've been in a great groove with hitting Success Club and growing your business and your team's on fire, you don't need to change what you're doing. So those two things, I just want to make sure we're not doing anything differently. The other thing that I'm nervous that people are going to do is that you're going to go so far on the free group that you're going to miss what we're telling you to do. And maybe I missed this on the top end of it, but we're just plugging these people into what we're already doing.
Yeah, I did want to make sure we said that again because when I'm setting people up with the 3-month or the trial, I'm not treating them like a free customer. I'm literally plugging them into Sweat Well Spent or whatever boot camp I have going on. And I think that is the difference because sometimes if they don't get the full picture of what it is that they're, missing out on or whatever, they may not do it. So I think that just treating these people as real customers, and knowing that it's an investment, and when you bring someone in at a lower price point, in a sense, you do have more work to do in that first month because you need to educate them on Shakeology. You need to show them why and, tell them about other products. But
the thing is, too, with this 3-month BOD, it's literally you run your business the way that you always do. And somebody responds back to you and says, I'm not interested in spending $160 right now. And we've had numerous masterminds where people go, I'm stuck there and I don't know what to do and I don't know where to pivot. Here's where you pivot. You say, hey, funny enough, I'm actually running a summer sale. Or, this is my favorite thing, I always used to say this in sales, that's exactly why I reached out to you. Hey, Jake, I can't afford $160. Holy, perfect! Because that's why I wanted to follow up with you. I wanted to follow up with you and let you know that I've got the summer sale going where for $40, you can get 3 months worth of BOD plus Energize. Energize is this incredible tool that can change your workouts. That's how you transition there. Got it?
And I'll say too, I do think it's more important than ever that we are talking about products on our stories and that people know we use them, because the last thing you want is for them to be surprised when you're like, hey, have you ever thought about Shakeology or Energize? Because if they see you using it, they're going to know that you're not full of crap. Like, you actually believe in this stuff. And it's just, I think, powerful when they can see you using it in everyday life.
I'm just confused why we've just hit stop. Like, this should be exciting to you, not crippling your business. Mm-hmm. This is just designed to give you more tools to help more customers. And then to take it a step further, we want to figure out duplication. It's what we're constantly working on as a couple here, is how do we help more people? And for a lot of you guys are in this really interesting spot in your business where, like, yeah, you've signed up a couple of people, you have 3 on the left and 3 on the right, or maybe you just went diamond. Your ticket to anywhere else in this business that you want to be beyond emerald and diamond is teaching duplication. And the hardest thing for so many young baby coaches to get in their head is selling a $160 challenge pack. That's why so many of them go to free groups. How many of you have had a brand new coach that goes, hey, I did a free group and I didn't get anybody? Okay? This is designed to give them a platform to just get people in the door, and they put their credit card down, and now they're in an actual challenge group, not a free group. They're in a challenge group with you, and they get 2 weeks of everybody else that's in there that bought a challenge pack, that's talking about their recover, that's talking about their Shakeology, going, oh man, once this 2 weeks is over, I want in on this. So don't lose sight of what you're already doing, and understand that what we're trying to do here is also give you resources and a tool and a tracker of some sort to help your young coaches start going and getting 4 or 5 potential customers in the door. That's honestly, like, if you go back and you listen to Melanie Mitro's old story, that's what she did. She did not ever discriminate or try and focus on a challenge pack. She just literally wanted people in her business, and then she developed them. And so we're going back to an old school method until Beachbody decides to actually pay people what they deserve to be paid for selling a $160 challenge pack. Okay? Mm-hmm. So it's not to distract you or to cripple you or to stall you out. It's to empower you.
Mm-hmm. And I mean, again, with retail wise, a challenge pack, you're still getting paid great, like normal commission. So it's not like you're missing out there. But I think in my heart, I want more coaches to feel like they're winning, especially baby coaches, where, if they have a friend or a family member that starts with a VOD membership, that they're excited and that they feel like they accomplished something really awesome, instead of, oh, well, I guess this is kind of like, this is okay, but it's not as good as that coach over there that sold a challenge pack. Just getting them in kind of like, this can actually feed your Success Club numbers. Like it should, right? If you have people trying it out for free, this should only help you to get more Success Club numbers in a few months.
Yeah. I want to go back to an original question, because then we got distracted from it. But for the month of June, or let's say the month of May and June, what do you feel like is holding you back from growing your businesses?
Like, what are you feeling when you have conversations with people?
I just want clarity, because, this builders page, I can go in there and I can see who's seen everything. And we've got about half of you participating right now and the other half of you sitting on the sidelines. So I'm just trying to figure out where the disconnect is. And the same thing too, like, we are going to try and get back in a good habit with lead generator nights. So Mondays and Thursdays, our thought is, if we can help you, again, create duplication, and then you feel the support of a team behind you when you're posting something. I mean, how many times do you guys post a lead generator and get 2 or 3 people that like it? We're going to get in this habit of setting up reminders on Mondays and Thursdays so that you actually have people behind you driving at least some shares and engagement online. But all of that is going to require your participation, seeing things when we message you that you respond to us, all that kind of stuff. So I'm just trying to understand on my end, we have all this growth. We have teams going 2-star, 3-star, 5-star. We've got people that literally, if they decided to turn it on right now, could probably go diamond by the time they go to summit, but we're in a standstill. So I just want transparency. What do you guys need from us? How can we best lead you to keep growing what has truly been a great start to 2019?
And I wanted to add, because last week we had talked about one thing that you said would be helpful to do was a team-wide sneak peek. So in case you missed that announcement, we are doing a team-wide sneak peek into coaching June 24th to 26th. And I really think that more than anything, when I talk to coaches right now, is you just wish you had more workers. You know, you wish you had more working coaches on your team. So be thinking through customers that you can invite into that, people that, you know, maybe have said no for a while, but maybe if they heard it, maybe if they heard from us a just different perspective. Oftentimes we were saying, I think it was last week, Moira's story was that, like, you know, her coach tried to talk to her forever, and then she heard from the upline team, and all of a sudden she was on and she was doing it. And so just sometimes it's about just exposing them to different aspects. So making sure that we're inviting to that, I think is going to be so huge. Also, I just have to tell you, Morning Meltdown 100 is going to be awesome. And so I think that too is coming, right? And it's going to be so big for your businesses. But I did want to touch on that in terms of, you know, one thing that you guys had asked for last week, which I do think is a big part of some of the holdback with recruiting right now, is, you know, some younger coaches don't feel the confidence to necessarily invite to that. Warm market is saturated with Beachbody coaches, so I feel like is that you, Amy? Did you say that? Yeah, okay. Yeah, so this is what you'll find though. So when you're a new coach and you have friends that are Beachbody coaches, it can be a little bit overwhelming because you're like, oh, she's already signed up with him. I promise though, if you are the one that keeps going and you stick around, all of those people will eventually become your customers, because very few people actually stick with this business. I mean, all the time I hear, my coach quit, I'm going to go to you, my coach quit. And so if you can just, you know, continue, like, yes, we'll focus on growing your cold market, but just continue to build relationships, or just not like you're trying to steal them, but just, you know, always keep a healthy bridge between those people, because it will blow your mind, the people that will come out of the woodwork, like I have years later, because their coach didn't stick around. But
at the same time, I feel like spending time studying how to build your cold market is a great use of personal development. You can find such great podcasts on it, YouTube videos. You know, don't wait for a training in here or a national wake-up call to figure out how to build that. There's a number of steps, and I've heard a number of great podcasts that walk you through exactly how to do it. And then you try it and it might not work, and then you try another method and it might not work, and then you find something that works for you. You know, Jess Ralston just commented Stim Social has helped. You know, that's a great platform that you pay however much money a month for it, $29, $39 or something like that. And it definitely gets your stuff seen more. It's up to you to work that. Like, it's as good as, you know, you'll see your viewership go up, but then you'll be like, well, I'm getting a ton more followers. I'm getting a ton of people watching my stuff, but nobody's signing up. You still have to be doing your inviting. And when people's businesses have stalled out, and we sit down, we have a conversation with them, 99.9999999% of it is not that they couldn't work their warm market or they couldn't work their cold market. It was literally that they didn't invite and they didn't follow up. And if those two aspects of your business fall off, your business falls off. So getting in a good groove of certainly developing a cold market, but I'd also say, like, when you say warm market is saturated, I can promise you there's probably 100 to 250 people in your Facebook right now that have no idea what Beachbody is. It's just a matter of us getting in a good groove of inviting those people on a regular basis, creating a conversation, and then what we prioritize on Fridays, which I'm hoping that by the time I get off of here, I see a bunch of follow-ups already in that little thread. On Fridays, we just keep the conversation going, and we're human beings. And again, you know, I spent a decade in medical device sales, and I joke around all the time, but I don't think I ever sold anything. I just followed up. I was consistent enough. I provided value enough until somebody was like, okay,
and what I would say,
like to work with them.
and again, when we say follow up, we don't mean ask for the sale again.
Yes.
Right? Like follow up means just check in, comment on their posts, like, be a human being, be a friend. Like follow up is literally just building the relationship. So it should be a lot of fun. It shouldn't feel like, oh my gosh, I have to follow up and re-invite all these people. It should be like, oh, let me just continue this conversation, because if you do that, then eventually they will say yes at some point when you invite them. And then yeah, Amanda said, oops, I think we're doing.
But just to make sure that I balance what you're saying, like warm market, cold market, it's a struggle for every last person. So I just want you to know that you're not alone in navigating that, and then to empower you to take it into your own hands, understanding how to build that cold market, and then feeling the empowerment that you might post something and see a lot of people posting the same thing. Stay in your lane, get in the habit of not paying attention or scrolling or watching other people, and just keep doing you, keep sharing your story. I think you're kind of entertaining to watch on stories, and you kind of got like a fun, somewhat crass personality, which I love. Characters work in this business. It's just really hard for people to be a character with consistency. But the more, look at Ashley Molstead. I mean, she literally swears like a sailor, and you would go, gosh, that will never work. She's the top coach in the company. So just be you. Don't worry about everybody else. And to Amber's point, a lot of those people will start coming over or will start messaging you. And I think you've even had that where people are like, how do I switch over to your team? That will happen organically just by you staying in your own lane and being yourself.
Yeah, this is so good. I'm just reading these comments over there.
And thank you guys for chiming in here.
Yeah,
I love
really
having
great.
leaders chime in. It's so helpful.
So what else did we miss? Yeah, there is a video about Instagram collections, which is what I use right now to grow my cold market. And then Amanda just shared this. This is an awesome script Amanda said, inviting from stories has been super helpful. Amanda, can you, I don't know if you're able to talk, but could you explain that process, like what that process looks like as far as, you do a story, and then how do you even find the people that watch, like that whole thing?
Okay, sorry, we're in the car. There's a whole bunch of us. Semi-quiet. Okay, so basically, like, I do like 3 or 4 workout clips every morning as soon as I work out. And then at the end of every day, I try to go in and I honestly just look at who watched like all 4 workout clips, like who stayed watching all of them, because obviously if they're going to continue watching them, they're interested in them somewhat. And I will literally just go through and not think twice about it and just send them a message. Like, I don't like second guess myself. I don't allow myself to go, oh my gosh, I don't think they're going to be interested, or they have too many followers or whatever. And I just shoot them that message. And sometimes I get ghosted, but most of the time people are opening to at least filling out questionnaire, email, and then again I can follow up with them on follow-up Friday and just check in and see if it's something they might be interested in, or if it's something they're not interested in. But just it's a way to connect with people that are just watching stories. They don't even like look at posts on their Instagram feed. So
yeah, that's so good.
Like it's mainly like because I've been doing the collections and checking in like once, I go through like 5 letters a day personally. That's how I do it. And then those people will then go watch my stories, and then it gives me a reason to invite those people. So that's what's been working for me lately.
I love that. That's so awesome. And if you guys didn't see it, she's got her message in there. Amanda, when you're not driving, because I know it's crazy right now, could you post that to the builders page too?
Yeah, I will.
Thank you.
Yeah, I just change it depending on what boot camp I'm running, but it has been really helpful to just like get out of your head, you guys, because I know that it's super scary. And inviting used to be one of those things I never ever did, because it terrified me that I was gonna offend somebody, but really you're just asking them if like people aren't gonna be offended.
That's so true. It was cutting out a little bit, but I'm pretty sure you said like you were just encouraging people. It is scary, but it works, and it's not as scary once you just like do it.
Speaking of scripts, because that's I love that comment.
Yeah, that's awesome.
You know, scripts, sharing people's scripts and seeing how other people are doing it changed my business. Does everybody have the? Speaking of scripts, has everybody seen the scripts that Amber is using right now? Yes.
Well, yeah, we should do like a script dump where everyone could just share what works.
Because you know, what we're trying to give you guys here in the Builders page is what our family uses, and I mean, clearly it's worked for 54 consecutive months or something like that. So it works. But again, if you guys are finding something else that works, we just gotta have like a good place. And I mean, would it be helpful to see how other people are selling, or is it almost too much that you get like 1,000 scripts and you're like, oh gosh? I mean, if I post that, are half of you going to go look at it, or are all of you going to go look at it? Because I'm in the business right now too of like validating my time and making sure that I'm spending time where you guys need it, not just feeling good about myself because I quote unquote worked today and uploaded a bazillion scripts for you.
Yeah, that's what I do too. Amanda said she saves her scripts like in notes section. I totally do that too, because then you can, like, if you have a minute, just, you know, copy and paste when you're sending messages. And as you get more confident in the business, like I love that Ashley said, you know, they shared scripts. Like the reason why they each had their own probably is because as you get more confident in the business, you know what works for you. And so you kind of tweak the wording to sound like you, and you know, you don't necessarily need scripts anymore. It's still helpful, but like you're able to kind of piece it together in a way that works. And so as new coaches, just getting all of that info is really helpful.
One thing that I want to make sure that I comment on too, if you guys are seeing the stuff in the Builders page, or if you are finding a script that works, or if you guys are in a Team Cup push and somebody shares a script and you're like, oh my gosh, this is brilliant. Share it with your downline. We have to
and with the Builders page. Like I want you guys to feel like you can, you know, run with that Builders page too.
Sure, but yes, but like
duplication is what
I don't want to argue with you out here. But like duplication, yes, like that is the most important thing, because I'm just finding that we have so many people that have the ability to lead, but they're nervous because they have a best friend or a good friend or a longtime challenger as one of their downlines. So they just don't check in with them. They don't message them. They don't ask for favors from them. If you're finding something that works for you, share it with them. If you're seeing that we run this big deal in the month of June just to help 10 people get started, and it might not apply to your business, don't be bullheaded enough to think that it's not going to apply to somebody in your downline that could really get their heads around it. Anytime that you're seeing something, whether it's going to be the thing you run with full steam or not, remember that there are so many different personalities in this business, so many different ways that people feel recognized and appreciated, that just taking it a step further and tagging them to make sure that they see it, or sending them a one-off personalized message being like, I don't know, I haven't decided if I'm going all in on this yet, but I thought as a brand new coach, this could be great for you, is going to give you over time an opportunity for somebody in your downline to decide to run with it. But if we just, like, this is why we constantly throw different things at you, take back the kitchen, sweat well spent, you know, can you get 10 people started with something? Like, we're constantly giving you different tools to hopefully help you develop a business. But if we just do the same thing every single day for 5 years in a row and nothing, it doesn't produce the same result, we're doing the very definition of insanity. So we're trying something new, but we need your buy-in as leaders and as coaches and aspiring diamonds, 2 stars, 5 stars, making sure that the people that are in the Builders page, your downline, are seeing it. And then it's on them. Bless and release. It's on them to decide if they want to do something with it or not, but us not even getting it in front of them is doing them a disservice.
And then as far as new coaches too, you've probably seen if you're in that Facebook group, but I'm continuing to add in more and more trainings. Ignition Mission, New Coach Training is the group that it's called. And so when you have a new coach join, what you should be doing is adding them to that group and then telling them, okay, go through all the learning units, make sure you've got all these trainings, and then, let me know what questions you have along the way. But if they're going through all of those, they're going to have a really solid handle on how to get going with their business. They're still going to need your support and encouragement and, you talking to them, but don't feel like you have to recreate the wheel with that. Like, keep adding your new coaches, keep those conversations going. And just, I think the more people, though sometimes like even with getting people in with the free trial, there are going to be people that try these workouts for 2 weeks and they're like, this is awesome. Maybe I could coach. Like, I don't have the money. What if I could coach? And there are not all the leaders in the roundtable, the 5-star and above. I'm telling you, it is mind-blowing how many people did not come in with a challenge pack. Like, they came in with a burned DVD or a free copy or whatever. So, although we believe that the challenge pack is the best option, because it is, if people are not ready, that doesn't mean that they won't get eventually to the point of understanding the whole package.
Well, and we were talking about this too as we get ready to move back to Minnesota in a couple of weeks. The one thing that we're most excited about is going back to Lifetime Fitness. That's like, we love going to Lifetime. And when I think about going to Lifetime, generally they give you a 1-week pass. Free pass, or any gym for that matter, gives you 3-day, a 5-day, a 7-day, something to see if you want to be involved with it or not, or if you want to decide. And then you know what they do afterwards. Has anybody ever gone for one of those? They take the free pass, and then what? Can anybody tell me what happens after those 3 days are over? Anyone? No. They freaking follow up with you. Okay?
Like crazy.
So, like crazy. They call you every day until you tell them yes or no. So, similar model here, that we're just trying to get them into the community. We're giving them an opportunity to try something for 2 weeks. It's a better deal than what you can even get at a gym. No gym out there gives you a 2-week pass. So we're giving you a 2-week pass to try it, and maybe that's even something you run with. Just call it a 2-week pass into our community, something that's just different than what the traditional mold is doing. But we talked about that the other day when Amber was like, I just had 5 people sign up for a 2-week trial. So you might as well. That's 5 people that are trying a free pass into our community to see if it's a good fit for them. We're probably going to win more often than if we never gave them the opportunity. So.
All right. Anything else that you guys want to cover or ask today? Just making sure I didn't miss anything here. Most people are.
Oh. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So I have some people that I've been messaging with for a long time, and I finally got them with Swell Friend, and they love it. What do you do now when they're on a super high with it, and there's 400 people in there, and in my personal team page, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay.
Are we giving you a blank look?
Sorry. Maybe we froze or something.
Computer does that weird thing. So then my team page, of course, is much smaller, and not everybody wants to do, the same work as other people. How do I keep that going? That high of what they're going through right now.
Yeah, that's a great question. I mean, I think that it really kind of depends on the people. Some people are like, I love the energy of the big group. Some people are like, I actually hate the big group. I want a small group. And so you kind of have to like meet them where they're at. But just know, like, if they love that, they're welcome to be in our downline group. The group that I'm planning to do for July is, I don't know if they're parents, but is going to be all about like kind of taking back our summer and just helping moms and women to get into a solid routine again, maybe after a few weeks of summer vacation, after the 4th of July craziness. Like, how can we take some time to focus on you? So it is one of those things where you're like, okay, they're in this group. How do I keep them? But you're welcome to add them to our group whenever. And then also I think when they're on that high is a great time to invite to coaching. Just be like, hey, you're rocking this. It's been so cool to see the progress that you're making. And I love having your energy and your positivity. Have you ever considered coaching? Would you want to learn more about it? I'd love to have you, in our community in a deeper way. And so I think, yeah, when they're loving it is when you have to ask, and they may say no, but I'd love to continue with the workouts. That's great too. But yeah, does that help?
Yep.
Okay, and just reach out to me anytime if you're like, when's your next group starting? Like, just reach out, and you're more than welcome to add your people at any point.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So a couple of final notes here. Follow-up Friday is today because it's Friday. So I'm expecting at least all of you, because I do have a screenshot of you, to follow up with 3 people. And I will check in with you tomorrow if I do not see your name in there. Most of you won't respond to me. I get that. But I don't care. I really don't. So follow-up Friday. I want to prioritize these on Fridays. And I want you to help me get your team doing the same thing. Duplication, duplication, duplication. New coach mentorship. We'll probably be posting something at some point here, but we'll try and get back on Monday nights to start working with people, because we had a number of people that were actually able to go Emerald last month because of those calls. So if you have new coaches, or you yourself are a new coach and want just additional encouragement and push, we'll be getting back to doing those on Mondays. We have the sneak peek coming at the end of the month. That's going to be a bit chaotic for us, just as we move back to Minnesota on the 26th. But the good news with that is we're flying and driving, and it's the worst thing for me because I have to sit in the car for 6 hours.
I'm actually super
and
productive.
I get so much done. It was just so great to drive the whole time. I had my Wi-Fi going. Oh, my word. And then just encouragement with the getting 10 people started this month. And I just want to encourage you again, stay in your lane, stay in your groove. If you've got something that's working well for you, there's no reason to change it. But if you have people that are on the fence, or they're looking for something, or they've messaged you like that, I thought you had a really good point of people who months ago, if you've been tracking this stuff, told you cost, or they told you timing or whatever it was, those are the perfect people on a follow-up Friday to be messaging and saying, hey, I was thinking of you specifically because a couple of months ago you requested some information on one of my boot camps. Want to let you know I've got a summer special going. Now might be the perfect time for you to hop in on it. So just be thinking about, the strategic ways that you can use all these resources to move your business forward. Okay. Anything else?
No, thanks so much for hopping on, you guys. This was great. I loved all your feedback and questions. It was awesome.
And keep the feedback coming. If sometimes we have our blinders on so far that we miss out on things. If there's something that you guys need, we're always a message away. I promise you. And we'll take it the sneak peek that wasn't on our radar. You guys said you needed it, so we're running a sneak peek. We're always going to be in this business with you, pushing with you, trying to help hold you accountable. I messaged so many of you, and I noticed that somebody goes inactive. It's just because I want to be your partner. I want to be your business partner, helping you guys get where you want to get in this business. So just communicate with us, and we'll communicate with you, and we can keep this train rolling.
All right.
All right. Have a great weekend, y'all.
Bye.
Peace and love.